Hi, I'm Alex, and in today's video I'm going to answer the question, how big is the Garmin Epix 2? This also applies to the Garmin Fenix 7 as they're pretty much identical size-wise. So with that said, the answer is it's 47mm by 47mm and it's 14.5mm deep. There you go, I hope that helps. Okay, in all seriousness, that's sort of my point. That's the information on the Garmin website. Now I have watched other YouTubers and they do show you the watch and they show you it compared to other different watches and how it looks on their wrist. But in this video, I'm going to give you my dimensions, show you how it looks on my wrist. It's particularly important for the Epix 2 because there is a sister product, the Fenix 7, but with that product it comes in 3 different sizes. So from a practical perspective, unfortunately, you might be too big or too small for the Epix 2 to work for you. But if you're going to drop several £100s up to nearly £1,000, $1,000 on this watch, before you do that, you want to have a good idea of whether or not it's going to fit. So amazingly, I've gotten to the age of 36 without knowing how big my wrist size was. But in the last video where I did an unboxing of this watch, someone asked me in the comments what my wrist size was. Now, the first issue I discovered is how do I measure my wrist size? I didn't have a soft tape measure on me. A couple of ways to do this if you don't have access to a soft tape measure. One is get a piece of string or something you can wrap around your wrist. Use that, mark that, and then measure that against the tape measure. The other thing you can do, and what I did, is I actually printed out a tape measure so it looks a little bit like this. It was an arts and craft project, printed it out, cut it out, and then put that around my wrist. And that told me that my wrist was, say, about 17 centimeters or 6 3/4 inches. For context, height-wise, I'm about 1.72 meters tall or just under 5 foot 8 inches tall. Also, what I think is really important to say in this video is that my preference is for bigger watches. I'm going to show you a couple of smaller watches that I think look absolutely fine on my wrist. I think the Garmin Epix 2 is at the biggest sort of size I can comfortably get away with, but I do like a big watch. I like a heavier watch. This watch weighs 76 grams and the other 2 watches that I'm going to show you both weigh about 50 grams and you really can notice the difference. So if you're looking for a watch that's lighter and you don't notice it as much, then maybe the Epix 2 isn't the watch for you. So with that said, I'm going to show you some examples of the watch. Now I've got 3 different straps for this watch, a metal one, the leather one that comes with the watch, and a silicone one as well that comes with the watch. So although all of these straps are the same size and the same thickness, and of course the watch doesn't change, it does give a different look to the watch each time, and that might make a difference, so I thought I'd show you that as an example. As well, I wanted to look here at the Venu 2 and the Vivo Move Lux. Now these just happen to be both watches that I've got around, so I thought they'd be useful examples. They're both smaller. The Garmin Venu 2 is 45.4mm by 45.4mm and it's 12.2mm deep. It weighs 49 grams, so it's quite a bit lighter and it is a little bit smaller. The Vivo Move Lux is 42mm by 42mm and it's 11.9mm deep. It weighs about 55 grams, so it's a little bit heavier than the Venu 2, but a similar sort of weight, and both are noticeably lighter than the Epix 2. I think it's important to say that my view on the Epix 2 is it's about as big as my wrist can take. I do like the bigger watch, but importantly, I wouldn't want the Epix 2 to be any smaller. It's like having a computer on your wrist, and I like the screen size. I like having that much data available, and if the screen was much smaller, I think I'd miss that. So just something to be aware of, that it is a nice size to see the screen and to interact with it, certainly in my opinion. So that's it, a really specific video. I hope that's been helpful if you're considering whether or not this watch is right for you. If it has been helpful, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, because I'll be making more videos on the Epix 2. So if you've got any questions, please do leave them in the comments. Until next time, I've been Alex. Thanks for watching.